Each year, Microsoft Research hosts hundreds of influential speakers from around the world, including leading scientists, renowned experts in technology, book authors, and leading academics, and makes videos of these lectures freely available.
Welcome everybody. I'm Roy Zimmerman. I've been working with Alex this summer and even before this summer on ChronoZoom. ChronoZoom has been something that's been incubated by MSR for a number of years. And maybe that means it's been more than incubated, perhaps boiled. But where am I? But this summer we invited Alex to come in as an intern to see if we could really adapt ChronoZoom for a museum-specific environment. And he'll share a little bit more about what ChronoZoom is and his history with it and what he was able to do with it this summer. So, Alex?
Thank you, Roy, for introduction. So I was making a proof of concept of using ChronoZoom as an application for museum exhibits. I will tell you a little brief about what ChronoZoom is, and then we'll talk about my internship deliverables. So ChronoZoom was built by Microsoft Research in collaboration with Moscow State University and University of California, Berkeley. MSU was working on this for almost 3 years, I think. I was also participating for 2 years. I was working on visualization system, on authoring system, some other stuff. ChronoZoom is a visualization tool which represents the time events based on their historical events based on their time. So mostly it uses historical content. Data inside ChronoZoom is nested, if you see on the screen left, which means it makes it more structured, more clear to navigate and explore. And it uses multiple media types to display the data, such as images, videos, and so on. ChronoZoom contains of 3 main elements: timeline, exhibit, and artifact. Timelines represented as rectangles, and they represent continuous event in time span. They have start and end date, and their primary goal is to be as a container of other events like timelines and exhibits, and also to structure the data. Exhibits represented as circles, and this is a particular event related to some point in time. And their primary goal is to be a container of artifacts, which are the core content of ChronoZoom. Artifact is an informational unit. This is what people usually trying to explore. They look media content and read the description of artifact, because this shows and covers the area of exhibit. We chose museums because of some of features of ChronoZoom, such as you can show as much data as you want on a single screen because of zoom experience and pan experience. So the data amount is unlimited. It is interactive, which makes it very attractive for users, and semantic view of data, which gives a different experience of exploring the data in a context with other events. This is why it was very interesting to try to use it in a museum experience. At the beginning of my internship, we collaborated with big history researchers who told us that they would like to have other representation of data inside ChronoZoom based on geographical experience. They want to connect exhibits with some areas on the map. We came with this idea to our museum partner, Museum of History and Industry in Seattle. They never seen ChronoZoom before. We showed them ChronoZoom and told them that we would like to have map view experience and have a museum experience for ChronoZoom. They were very excited about this, and we were making a map view for them and the history researchers. The key requirements were to display data on a specific area. It might be a country, continent, state, not just a point on the map like longitude and latitude. Possibility of using historical maps, since it's a tool which represents historical data. So you might want to use map with other boundaries of countries, with other names of countries. Since it's about representation and this visualization of showing the data on the map, not about showing details. That's why we also don't need to show rivers, name of all places, roads, and it should be easy to amend this. And this should be flexible so we can deliver different types of visualization for our partners. Solution for this was using D3.js and maps in Topo.json. It's a very popular bundle. It's open source. D3.js is one of the popular visualization libraries for JavaScript. There are a lot of open source topologies for maps. They have different level of detailization and different level of precision for locations. The maps can contain a map of rivers, lakes, and oceans and seas, or map of countries, map of places. You can use in command line utilities, which are also distributed free. You can filter this data and use only map of US, for instance, or map of Africa, or any other location, and you can manipulate different map sources and merge them. Like you can merge map of countries with map of rivers, for instance.
Do they have a temporal element?
What?
Do the maps have a temporal element? So do they support your need to do historical maps?
It is possible to upload historical maps here, but this is a quite popular format, so probably if someone will make open source historical maps, they will deliver this in this format, so we can use it later. However, our museum partner later told us that rather than make additional features, they would like to have different application for ChronoZoom, for museum, because of museum restrictions. For instance, a lot of museums do not have an internet access for their exhibits, or they're restricted, and ChronoZoom is online tool. We use online media, and we need to be connected to internet. Also, museum applications should be secure. Users shouldn't have permissions to access system settings, close application, open other applications. ChronoZoom is in the browser, so it can be closed, which is not very good. And they don't want to have a curator of exhibit who will stand nearby and time to time check if it's running properly, if no one ruined it, and that it's still working.
So does that mean they also wanted some timeout features to have it sort of reset after
Yes.
somebody had interacted with it?
I'll talk about this further. Because of ChronoZoom architecture, to serve their needs, we need to deploy database and web service locally. Also, support local content. Before this, we were supporting only media URLs for media content because of legal issues. We cannot store the content on our servers. So we never supported uploading of files, especially local. And local Windows user with restricted access makes up our application secure. You cannot access any system settings. You can close it. All you can do is just interact with this application. For our demo version in Museum, I supported authoring using local content and displaying local content. Also, I did anti-idle feature, which resets the viewport and application to its initial state after it was idle for a few times. So next museum visitor will get the same experience as user before him, and make it easier to access and explore the data on the canvas. With this result, we came to a museum, and on one of weekends, we made a demo using Surfaces 3. We gathered a lot of user feedback, and we prioritized the feedback and selected 4 key features we can still implement until end of my internship. First of all, we noticed tablet is definitely not appropriate device. Everything is very small, which causes different user experience. They were trying to use the tool in a different way. Also, items were very small, and text was not readable by some people. We need to use better navigation system. Despite the fact a lot of users realized that they can use panning and zoom in and zoom out, they were not trying to use it to access other exhibits. Also, they complained about having full experience for images and videos. Again, they knew they can zoom in and zoom out, but they were not trying to apply it for images and videos. And we noticed that minor artifacts, which are side artifacts of exhibits, usually ignored by people, probably because they are too small. So we made these improvements and make the demo recently to our other museum partner, Seattle Art Museum, and MOHAI on a PPI screen you see here. And they were very excited about the result in our progress, and they shown an interest in using this prototype in one of their exhibits. Also, Roy and Laura are going to a conference in South Korea where they can meet our other museum partners and show them the demo. And also, since it's open source bundle for museum, we're looking for university partners or some open source community who can continue, develop, and maintain this project. So I will demonstrate here. This is exhibit we made with Museum of History and Industry. Sorry. This is our navigational panel to make content easier to achieve. Let's say I want to find a Boeing airplane. As you see, you can zoom in and zoom out, but people are not trying to do this on images. And same with pictures. These artifacts were not explored by any user. So that's why we made full screen, which shows the same data, but on a different view. It shows all the artifacts. They're more They're more useful representation, I think, because it shows all of the data of exhibit on one place. You can easily navigate to other exhibits, which are the closest in the future or closest in the past. I cannot access the left button, unfortunately. Also, we made full screen experience for images. This is not the best image because it's low resolution. This one should be better. We can zoom in and zoom out on the images. Same for videos. You can see this is what we did. If we can wait for a minute, then we will see the idle system. But probably you saw that initial application looks like this. This is cleared. This is what users see when they come to an exhibit. This is how it resets. Now I will show you authoring system. Oh.
Alex, before you jump to authoring, did you do anything special to handle the further multi-touch capabilities of the PPI? What happens if you get multiple people coming up here?
No,
okay.
PPI I received only 2 weeks before, and we had a lot of things to do. As you see, I cannot do anything. No system settings. Windows button is not working. This is secured application.
And this is all, the contents all running off a local
Yes,
source?
everything is local.
Okay.
I will use my laptop because it's easier to author with keys, keyboard and mouse rather than touch. And it's supposed to use with keyboard and mouse. So this is authoring experience. As you notice, there appeared some icons on the bottom of timelines. This timeline has icon of Earth, which means it has some map data. If I click on it, we can see the map of South America. It contains some of data in Brazil. This is also the full screen experience for display and exhibits. can easily author it and to show other map. Right here, currently 9 maps. I can use, let's say, map of US. This is very simple tool to author. You just select item you want to add and choose the area where you want to add this. I don't think I'm making it in the proper areas, but this is just for demo. So map is now map of the US, and we can explore events on the map on US. And now I create a demo exhibit using local content, so it's working properly. We'll use some of our content of MOHAI. I hope they will allow me to do this. Yes. And I think 3 will be enough. Let me add a video. So now I'm generating thumbnails, which are also stored locally, and here's our exhibit.
It's locally hosted, right?
Yes. So this is our video.
Is that now you're not creating a deep zoom pyramid. You're just creating a thumbnail, and you've got the high res, just two versions.
Yes, but I create in different resolutions of the thumbnails. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, now go back to my presentation.
Are there any questions about before can you do nonlinear timelines? So, like, for example, you had something that looked like you were talking about the universe, the timeline of the universe in one of your slides. And so this is really cool for relatively short periods of time, but like, let's say...
Oh, I can show you production version of website. This is exactly the idea of...
Yes.
It's actually designed.
Yeah, that's what the public version of the site does, not the museum-specific version.
As you see, it shows you history from the Big Bang, humanity.
Zoom into humanity just to give the effect.
So it allows you to visualize any segment of time from all of it to a single day. And the authoring tool allows you to build timelines at any of those scales.
The limitations right now are as long as you don't go farther back than 14.5 billion years or into the future beyond right now.
No, now you can go into the future up to 9,999 years.
There you go. Hopefully that'll be enough.
Some have asked for more.
Get a score for accuracy. Future prediction.
You wouldn't believe the amount of
There are-
engineering, scientific discussion
Yeah.
we do.
All right,
How much resolution?
let's let Alex finish up and then we can have the general discussion.
I would like to thank Roy and Lori for supporting me during internship and guiding me, helping to establish my connection with museum partners and to make this prototype. I also would like to thank Jay Beavers for helping me with engineering questions, to Curtis Wong for giving us museum partners and for his feedback on MapView, for Steven Drucker for his ideas about MapView, for our MOHAI friends who made this exhibit possible and who trusted us to make this exhibit and show it in their museum, and to other MSR interns who gave feedback and their ideas on my project. Thank you.
Alex, times would you estimate that you met with MOHAI over the course of, your internship to iterate and get feedback from them?
I think 4 to 5 times.
4 to 5 times. Okay. Do you think that was sufficient?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to me that this was actually scoped to use within museum. Because what I see is people that are trying to be without museums, so they want to be online. So from the local storage perspective, is there any thought given to what if I want to create this locally but then push it online? Which is, I built an app last year with Avanade basically to do that. It cost me $150. But in selling this to like my colleagues, because I'm an archivist, I don't run a museum, I don't have a space, and I have lots of people that are like me who would like to provide this information to ChronoZoom, because business history is actually really important. So then their problem is it's not already stored on the internet. So the local storage thing, like, is there sort of a model for you can do your local storage and then push it to Azure? And here's the model for pushing it to Azure, and then you can then take your local data and shove it into ChronoZoom, and you're only authoring once for both places.
This is possible, but the only problem we don't want to store any data on our services because of legal issues.
So I guess the current closest solution to that right now is if you can store everything on your OneDrive, then you can get it all into the public-facing website.
So you make your fake OneDrive for your company.
Yeah.
And I think we actually in the authoring tool have that
Yes.
plugin. So you can point to a local image or video and say, hey, post to my OneDrive. It will insert it into ChronoZoom and link it and post it to your OneDrive. So
And you can put videos up in Vimeo and other places, so it doesn't have to be a singly located.
So it sort of solves your problem, but there's probably some constraints.
So I can show you a few seconds. So this is the public-facing free website, chronozoom.com, that anyone can go to now. And if you sign in, one time I did this for a delegation of mayors from Puerto Rico, and I got my for some reason I got the lines inverted, and I was typing my password in as I was on the sign-in page, and they're like, "Is that your password?" Not anymore. So if you log in, you can customize the background image. This is the collection name, but as Mike was saying, here's where you can pull images from. So my background image is currently someone from a museum that I was talking to, I think, but if we want to change the background image, so I can pick the image and then saves it. Save. So if I save changes, it'll automatically change that. We've got opacity, flexibility now that we didn't have before. Enable kiosk mode was the very first thing that we did for the public-facing website, so that if someone wanted to take the online version and put it into their museum, if they enable kiosk mode and save changes, then all of these icons go away. But it still doesn't solve the internet, access problem. And unless you're in F11 mode, you still can navigate these things.
But that's pretty close to what Amy was asking, I think, right? I mean, slight twist on what you were saying. Don't think about local storage first. Think about how you make your stuff available online, author timeline, use kiosk mode, and you're good to go.
Yeah, so I'll disable kiosk mode. See what changes. But I didn't even show you what I wanted to show you. Yeah. So if you go down to your search, you can search on OneDrive to find whatever content you have there too. And as long as it's sort of in a URL format, that's how it points to whatever the content is that it's looking for.
I was mistaken. I thought there was a mechanism to select a local file and how to upload it to your
Oh, no.
No.
Okay. But we also now have manage editors, which allows you to add people to your list of authors, so you can do shared authoring with anyone who's got a ChronoZoom account. which was one of the most requested features from students and teachers. We first rolled this out to classrooms, and they didn't want to have to crowd over one little screen. They wanted to be able to work on it together.
Alex, is it the case that all of the changes that you've made to handle this, the museum on-premise sort of sandboxed environment, is that all part of the mainline ChronoZoom source in GitHub, or is it a fork for museums?
This is a fork for museums.
So the only other functionality that that really pops out that Alex didn't cover is these icons are copy and paste, which may be self-evident to people who work at Microsoft, not always. So you can copy any timeline that's on the public site or that's shared with you and paste it into your environment as long as it fits within your temporal parameters. So you can't copy the whole Big Bang timeline and copy it into your timeline if your timeline only covers 1,000 years or something. And then if you hit tap favorites and you go to your home screen, this is me, Roy Zim. So these are collections that have been shared with me. So I can go in and edit, the Wadsworth Museum's collection, and these are the ones that I've favorited over here.
But that's in your profile. So if like I had this, and I managed the library space. If I was running this in the library in kiosk mode, it's not like somebody could favorite something and take it with them.
That's
it would
right.
be, okay.
So you basically use your URL for yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Library would have a lot of
Yeah.
favorites, essentially.
And it would be logged in.
It would not be logged in. It would be logged in as someone like me. So.
Alex, I've got a question, if that's okay. Just around your user feedback, 4 to 5 times in the museum, it's probably got a lot of valuable information. I wonder, it's a great way to improve it, and especially, I was intrigued by the fact that nobody clicked on the minor artifacts, I guess. How did you collect your data, and were there any other insights you had from that experience that might be applied to the larger?
From these 4 to 5 visits, we were talking with the executives of museum and gathering their features and showing them our progress. We had only one demonstration. We just was looking at the users. I can share feedback with you together if you're interested.
But was it sort of was it a Wild West experiment? I mean, did you put it in and just have people come in and try it and just observe them?
Yes.
Okay, so it wasn't a structured experiment at all?
No, they were just going around the museum and someone them coming for our exhibit and looking at it. Some people we invited and gave them a chocolate.
Okay.
How did the museum collect their feedback at the end?
They just write it on the paper.
So they had a questionnaire.
Yes, but they were not giving it to anyone. They were just asking questions, writing this on the paper.
So kind of interviewing them.
Yes, but I can say that questions were like in a questionnaire. We were asking questions based on what this user did.
And they were walking around with the Surface Pro 3
Yes.
when they were doing that?
And did you do any analytical analysis, recapturing where they clicked or how long they stayed on an exhibit, or any sort of programmatic analysis?
No. For this, we just wanted to see how they will use it. With other improvements, now we can make some metrics, where they click, what they see. Mm-hmm.
That was sort of a next phase that they logically went to, though, was let's see where they're spending more time on the site.
Do you have on your, would you say 5 more days? Do you have on your list, is there a cookbook? Is there something that we can hand off to public sector if this started catching on with libraries and museums, saying from a hardware configuration, installation, how do you get up and running from buying the kit, getting it installed? Do we have that on the plans?
Yes, I will publish it everything to GitHub with instructions, and I hope my application will be published in the store.
Oh, nice.
On the other, when I logged out, I was running Windows 8 application.
So it's a Windows 8 app.
It just renders a local web page.
Okay. But okay.
It made for restricted access for Windows local user.
Right.
They can run only this application and only interact with it. They cannot do anything else.
Yeah, that's good.
It's just perfectly.
Perfectly suited.
Yes.
That's great. Yeah.
There was one last hack, it's not really a hack, but way that ChronoZoom has been used that we didn't think of. A university at Cal State University at Fullerton has taken it and basically used it to create his course webpage, but he's using it in a timeline now. So for week 1, go in. He's got his whole syllabus here. His homework assignment is, watch these videos before you come to class. He gives students, a heads up. In week 4, whatever it is, this is when you're going to have a quiz. These are the things we need to think about. So he said that his students are finding this more accessible and digestible than the traditional website with the drop-down folders, nested folders.
So then when he teaches a class the next semester, he just changes all the dates.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
totally
because all of his documentation is on his OneDrive, as he's updating his syllabus, the updates
He doesn't have
automatically
to
show
touch
up
that.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in fact, he's shown this to the chief information officer at Cal State University, who is thinking of figuring out how he can either drop Moodle and adapt this for his whole LMS or build this on top of his LMS. And we're talking to him today at 3. Actually, Mike, you want to join us for that?
Maybe. That's awesome. I mean, there's so many opportunities with this technology. It's pretty exciting. I'm really excited to see what Alex has done here with that local hosting constraint. That's a big way to solve that and enable people to do sort of a more secure environment. I think it also would probably be interesting for schools, because that was one of the issues that I think we ran into. We blocked a lot of internet access, and we saw certain videos for whatever reason were blocked YouTube videos, and there weren't anything wrong or of concern. It's just that that was their policy.
Yeah, they don't have the ability to block individual videos.
Right, they just block it all, and so the experience in actually this was at elementary school.
Yeah.
And so being able to serve up something locally is really valuable.
Well, I mean, being the manager of a space, I know Microsoft employees, I love them, but they will mess with this if I don't somehow lock it down and just make it. I'll come in and it'll be somebody's spreadsheet. So, yeah, that's a really key feature. So.
Well, thank you all for coming. Alex will be here for another week, so if you have any questions for him, please follow up with him soon, although he's not vanishing off the planet, so we'll certainly be able to track him down if we need to.
Thank you much.
Thank you all.
Good job, Annie.